Ladies and gentlemen, there's an undeniable power in learning to stand alone. In a world full of distractions, opinions, and external noise, solitude offers a sanctuary where transformation begins. To do it alone is not to isolate yourself in loneliness, but to embrace the freedom and strength that come from looking inward and relying on your own resources. This is where growth happens, when you decide to stop waiting for others and take the first steps toward becoming the best version of yourself. True transformation begins in solitude because it's the only space where you can hear the voice of your authentic self. When you're surrounded by others, even well-meaning people, it's easy to absorb their fears, doubts, and expectations. Their opinions can cloud your judgment and make you question your own path. But when you choose to walk alone, you eliminate those external influences and reconnect with the part of you that knows what you're truly capable of. In the quiet of solitude, you can finally listen to your intuition and align with your deeper desires. Being alone is a profound way to rediscover who you are without the labels, roles, or judgments that others place on you. It's a chance to ask yourself, what do I want? What drives me? What am I willing to work for? These are questions only you can answer, and they're often drowned out in the noise of everyday life. By stepping into solitude, you reclaim the power to define your own identity. When you decide to do it alone, you build inner strength and clarity. Relying on yourself doesn't mean rejecting help or connections with others. It means knowing that your foundation is strong enough to stand on its own. Independence is empowering because it teaches you that you're capable of handling challenges, making decisions, and moving forward without waiting for approval or support. It's about trusting yourself even when the path is uncertain. This self-reliance creates a resilience that no one can take away from you. Solitude also nurtures creativity and self-reliance. When you're alone, your mind is free to explore ideas and possibilities that might feel out of reach in a group setting. Creativity flows more naturally when you're not worried about judgment or comparison. You begin to see solutions where others see problems, and you realize that you have everything you need within you to take the next step. This realization shifts your mindset from dependence to empowerment, reminding you that you're capable of creating your own opportunities. One of the most profound aspects of doing it alone is the freedom to grow without being limited by the expectations of others. Growth often requires stepping out of the crowd and choosing a path that others may not understand. The opinions of others can keep you stuck, but when you decide to go your own way, you give yourself permission to evolve. You become the architect of your life, unshackled by the fear of disappointing others or straying from the norm. In solitude, you align with your higher purpose. Without the distractions of external validation or societal expectations, you can focus on what truly matters to you. Doing it alone isn't about rejecting the world, it's about creating the space to discover what you're here to contribute to it. This alignment with your purpose gives you clarity, direction, and a sense of fulfillment that no external source can provide. True transformation begins in solitude because it's in this space that you confront your deepest self without the distractions of the outside world. When you're constantly surrounded by others, friends, family, colleagues, their expectations, opinions, and beliefs can influence your sense of self. You begin to shape your identity based on what others think you should be or do. But when you're alone, the noise fades and you are left with the raw essence of who you are. It's in these moments of solitude that you start to understand yourself at a deeper level. Solitude is not loneliness, it's a sacred opportunity for self-discovery. Many people fear being alone because it forces them to face their thoughts, emotions, and fears without any distractions. But this discomfort is where transformation begins. When you sit with yourself, you uncover truths that have been buried under layers of societal conditioning and external validation. You begin to see your strengths, your desires, and even the patterns that have been holding you back. This process of self-reflection is essential for personal growth because you can't change what you don't acknowledge. When you're alone, you gain clarity about what truly matters to you. In the absence of external voices, you can hear your own inner guidance. This clarity allows you to distinguish between what you want and what others expect of you. You stop living for approval or validation and start aligning your actions with your values and goals. This alignment is the foundation of transformation because it shifts your focus from pleasing others to living authentically. Solitude also creates the space for you to dream and envision your future without limitations. When you're surrounded by others, it's easy to absorb their doubts and fears, which can dampen your own aspirations. But when you're alone, you're free to imagine what's possible without constraints. You can explore your passions, set bold goals, and reconnect with the dreams you may have set aside. This creative freedom is where breakthroughs happen because you allow yourself to think beyond the boundaries imposed by the world around you. Another powerful aspect of solitude is the opportunity to develop self-trust. When you're alone, you have no one to lean on but yourself. This can be intimidating, but it's also incredibly empowering. You learn to rely on your own judgment, make decisions based on your intuition, and take responsibility for your choices. This self-reliance builds confidence because you realize that you are capable of navigating life's challenges on your own. With each step you take, your inner strength grows and you become less dependent on external validation. In solitude, you also learn the value of stillness. The modern world is filled with constant noise, from social media to endless notifications, leaving little room for quiet introspection. But when you choose to spend time alone, you create a space for stillness that allows you to connect with your inner self. This stillness is where you find peace, clarity, and a sense of purpose. It's a reminder that you don't need to chase after validation or approval because everything you need is already within you. true transformation is not about changing for others or meeting external expectations. It's about becoming the person you were always meant to be. This journey begins in solitude, where you have the freedom to explore, grow, and align with your authentic self. So don't fear being alone. Embrace it as a powerful opportunity for growth. In the quiet moments of solitude, you'll discover the strength, clarity, and purpose to create a life that reflects your true essence. And when you emerge from this space, you'll carry a sense of self that no external force can ever shake. Alone time reconnects you to your authentic self by removing the distractions, expectations, and influences of the external world. In the rush of everyday life, it's easy to lose sight of who you truly are. You're constantly navigating relationships, obligations, and the noise of modern society. Each of these can subtly shape your identity, pulling you further away from your true essence. But when you carve out moments to be alone, you create the space to reconnect with yourself on a deeper level, to remember who you are beneath the layers of conditioning. This process isn't always comfortable. Being alone means confronting your thoughts, emotions, and experiences without distractions. For many, this can be intimidating. You might uncover unresolved feelings, unspoken fears, or questions about your life's direction. But these moments of introspection are necessary for growth. They allow you to see where you've been living out of alignment with your values or letting others define your worth. It's in solitude that you can gently peel back these layers, revealing the core of your authentic self, the part of you that is unshakable and true. Reconnecting with your authentic self also means rediscovering your passions and desires. So often we lose sight of what truly excites and inspires us because we've been prioritizing the needs or expectations of others. But when you spend time alone, you give yourself permission to ask, what do I want? What makes me feel alive? These are questions only you can answer, and the answers often emerge in the stillness of solitude. You might find yourself reconnecting with dreams you'd forgotten or uncovering new interests that light you up from within. Alone time is also a chance to silence the inner critic that thrives on comparison. When you're constantly surrounded by others, it's easy to fall into the trap of measuring your worth against their achievements, opinions, or lifestyles. But solitude allows you to step away from this comparison game. In the quiet of your own company, you can begin to see yourself through a lens of compassion rather than judgment. You realize that your worth isn't tied to external validation or how you measure up to others. Instead, it's rooted in your unique journey and the person you're becoming. Another profound benefit of spending time alone is the clarity it brings. Without the noise and distractions of the outside world, you can think more clearly about your goals, values, and priorities. Solitude gives you the opportunity to reflect on your choices and determine whether they align with the life you want to create. It's in these moments of reflection that you gain insight into what truly matters to you and where you might need to make changes. This clarity is a gift because it allows you to move forward with intention and confidence. As you reconnect with your authentic self, you'll also notice an increased sense of inner peace. When you're not trying to please others or live up to societal expectations, you feel lighter and more grounded. You begin to trust yourself more deeply, knowing that your choices come from a place of authenticity rather than obligation. This inner peace radiates outward, influencing every aspect of your life, from your relationships to your work to your overall sense of well-being. The truth is, spending time alone isn't about isolating yourself. It's about cultivating a deeper relationship with yourself. It's about honoring who you are and giving yourself the space to grow, heal, and thrive. When you reconnect with your authentic self, you gain the clarity, confidence, and courage to live a life that reflects your true essence. So don't shy away from solitude. Embrace it as an essential part of your journey. In the stillness, you'll find yourself again, and that reconnection will be one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Independence builds inner strength and clarity in a way that nothing else can. When you rely on others to navigate life, whether for emotional support, decision-making, or validation, you unintentionally dilute your own power. True independence is about trusting yourself to handle challenges, make choices, and stand firm in your values. It's not about rejecting help or isolating yourself from others. Instead, it's about cultivating the confidence to know that you can face whatever life throws at you. Independence becomes the foundation upon which inner strength is built, enabling you to live with purpose and authenticity. When you rely on yourself, you begin to discover an inner reservoir of strength that often goes untapped when you lean too heavily on others. You realize that you are capable of solving problems, overcoming obstacles, and charting your own path. This realization is incredibly empowering. Each time you face a challenge alone, you grow stronger, not just because you've succeeded, but because you've proven to yourself that you are resilient. It's in these moments of self-reliance that your confidence begins to soar. You stop doubting your abilities and start trusting your instincts, knowing that you are equipped to handle life's uncertainties. Independence also brings clarity because it removes the noise and influence of others. When you constantly seek advice or approval, it's easy to become confused or torn between conflicting opinions. But when you learn to rely on yourself, you develop a clearer sense of what you truly want and need. You stop living according to other people's expectations and start making decisions based on your values and desires. This clarity allows you to move through life with a greater sense of direction, knowing that your choices align with your authentic self. Another profound benefit of independence is the freedom it provides. When you're independent, you're not bound by the opinions or expectations of others. You have the freedom to take risks, explore new opportunities, and follow your dreams without worrying about what others might think. This freedom is transformative because it allows you to live boldly and authentically. It's not about rejecting connections with others, but about creating a life that reflects your true self rather than a life built to please or appease others. Independence also strengthens your relationships. Paradoxically, the more you rely on yourself, the healthier and more balanced your connections with others become. When you're not dependent on someone else for your happiness or sense of self-worth, you can approach relationships from a place of abundance rather than neediness. This shift creates stronger, more authentic connections because you're not looking to others to fill a void. Instead, you bring your whole, self-assured self to the table, enriching your relationships with confidence and clarity. As you cultivate independence, you begin to see that it's not just a skill, it's a mindset. It's about believing in your ability to grow, adapt, and thrive no matter what circumstances arise. This mindset creates a ripple effect in every area of your life, from your career to your personal relationships to your overall sense of well-being. You become less reactive and more proactive, taking ownership of your choices and outcomes. This sense of ownership is deeply empowering because it reminds you that you are the creator of your own life. Independence doesn't mean you won't ever need support or guidance from others. It simply means you know you can stand on your own when you need to. It's about trusting yourself, building resilience, and having the courage to walk your path even when it feels uncertain. Independence gives you the strength to face challenges with confidence and the clarity to make decisions that align with your true self. By embracing independence, you step into your power and create a life that reflects your highest potential. You realize that everything you need to succeed is already within you, waiting to be unlocked. Solitude fosters creativity and self-reliance in a way that nothing else can. In the silence of being alone, your mind is free to wander, explore, and innovate without interference. When you're constantly surrounded by the noise of everyday life, whether it's the opinions of others, the demands of work, or the distractions of technology, it can be difficult to think clearly or tap into your creative potential. Solitude creates a space where you can listen to your inner thoughts, let ideas flow freely, and reconnect with the boundless creativity that lies within you. Creativity thrives in solitude because it allows you to disconnect from the pressure of external judgment. When you're alone, there's no one to critique your ideas or impose their standards on your work. This freedom from evaluation lets your mind experiment without fear of failure. You can dream big, try new approaches, and think outside the box without worrying about how others might perceive your efforts. In this space, you're not just a passive receiver of ideas, but an active creator shaping new possibilities from your imagination. Self-reliance is another gift of solitude, and it's closely tied to creativity. When you're on your own, you don't have the immediate support of others to solve problems or guide your decisions. This can feel daunting, but it also pushes you to rely on your own abilities. You start to realize that you are capable of finding solutions, generating ideas, and taking action without constant input or validation from others. This self-reliance builds confidence and reinforces the belief that you can handle challenges on your own terms. In solitude, you also develop the discipline needed to bring your creative ideas to life. Creativity isn't just about inspiration, it's about commitment and focus, and these qualities are nurtured when you spend time alone. Without distractions, you can immerse yourself fully in your work, honing your skills and refining your vision. This focused time allows you to make meaningful progress on your goals and turn your ideas into reality. You begin to trust not only your creative instincts, but also your ability to follow through and execute your plans. Solitude also enhances your ability to reflect and gain new perspectives. When you're constantly surrounded by others, it's easy to get stuck in a particular way of thinking or to adopt the perspectives of those around you. But when you're alone, you have the opportunity to question assumptions, explore different viewpoints, and expand your understanding of the world. This reflective process sparks new ideas and insights, enriching your creativity and deepening your sense of self-reliance. As you spend time alone, you begin to see solitude not as a limitation, but as an opportunity. You realize that some of your best ideas and breakthroughs come when you're away from the noise of the world. You learn to embrace the quiet, seeing it as a space where you can connect with your inner self and tap into the wellspring of creativity and resourcefulness that's always been within you. This shift in perspective transforms solitude from something you might have avoided into something you actively seek out as a source of inspiration and growth. Over time, solitude becomes a practice that you carry with you into all aspects of your life. It's no longer just about creating or solving problems. It's about building a foundation of self-reliance and inner strength that supports you no matter what challenges you face. You discover that the more you nurture your creativity and independence in solitude, the more capable you are of navigating the complexities of life with confidence and grace. The power of solitude lies in its ability to reconnect you with your own voice, your own ideas, and your own potential. By embracing time alone, you create the space to grow, innovate, and become more self-reliant. In this quiet, you'll find the clarity and courage to pursue your dreams, knowing that everything you need is already within you, waiting to be uncovered. Growth often requires doing things alone, stepping away from the crowd and venturing into uncharted territory. It's in these solitary moments that you discover the strength you never knew you had. Growth demands discomfort, and there is no greater discomfort for many than walking a path where no one accompanies you. Yet it's in that discomfort that transformation occurs. To grow, you must be willing to face the challenges and opportunities that solitude brings, for it is there that your resilience is tested and your potential is revealed. When you embark on a journey of personal growth, you might find that not everyone understands or supports your decisions. Some people will question your choices or try to hold you back, not out of malice, but because your growth challenges their comfort zone. This is why doing it alone is often necessary. By choosing to move forward, despite the lack of approval or encouragement from others, you send a powerful message to yourself: your growth matters more than their opinions. You prioritize your own evolution over external validation, and that's where real empowerment begins. Walking a solitary path doesn't mean you're isolating yourself permanently. It means you're giving yourself the freedom to explore, reflect, and grow without interference. Growth is deeply personal. It can't always be shared or explained in the moment. When you do it alone, you create the space to understand your own desires, fears, and motivations without being influenced by others. This clarity is essential for making authentic choices that align with who you truly are rather than who others think you should be. The challenges you face when you're alone are some of the most profound teachers. When you don't have someone to rely on, you learn to rely on yourself. You discover strengths you didn't know you had and develop skills you never imagined you'd need. Whether it's learning to manage your emotions, solve problems, or push through fear, doing it alone forces you to grow in ways that are impossible when someone else is carrying the load. This process builds resilience, and resilience is the cornerstone of personal transformation. Doing it alone also allows you to set your own pace. Growth isn't linear, and it certainly doesn't follow a timeline set by others. When you're alone, you can slow down when you need to reflect or speed up when inspiration strikes. You're not held back by others' limitations or expectations, nor are you forced to keep up with their pace. This freedom to move in your own rhythm creates a deeper sense of self-trust as you learn to listen to and honor your own needs and instincts. One of the most rewarding aspects of doing it alone is the sense of accomplishment that comes from knowing you made it through on your own terms. There's a unique confidence that comes from looking back at your journey and realizing that every step you took was yours. You didn't wait for permission, approval, or help. You did it because you believed in yourself. This sense of achievement fuels further growth as it proves to you that you're capable of handling whatever comes next. Ultimately, growth is a journey of self-discovery, and no one else can walk that path for you. By doing it alone, you give yourself the gift of becoming deeply acquainted with your own strength, courage, and potential. You learn to trust yourself, even when the road ahead feels uncertain. In solitude, you grow into the person you were always meant to be, free from the constraints of external expectations. And when you emerge on the other side, you'll carry with you a confidence and clarity that no one can take away. This is the power of doing it alone. It shapes you into the strongest, most authentic version of yourself.